If you feel it,
chase it.
Podcast about it.
Do I? Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
Welcome to the show. We are here to talk about the long-awaited sequel to Twisters, or Twister. Twisters is the name.
Are you already replacing the original with this sequel in your mind?
I someday hope they make a sequel to this original movie Twisters I saw tonight. No, we're going to get into it. I think when we all made our most anticipated movies of the year list, Twisters was hanging out on everybody's list, either anticipating it or at least morbid curiosity, because we are all such diehard fans.
It was number one on my list.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, but we're going to get into that in just a little bit. But let me introduce my co-hosts all the way from not San Diego yet, but next week, Comic-Con. We'll be there. Abigail Gardner, what's up?
Yes, I will be there next week. Right now, I'm in Atlanta. Not too much, except for that I just saw Twisters, and I will say that it was raining when we went to the theater, it was fitting to the movie.
It was fitting to the movie. Saw it in the Dolby Theater, which is always a great experience. Great picture, great sound. And yeah, it was really cool. Mm-hmm. We're going to get into it. Jacob Walsh, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Just hanging out today, watching trailers. Multiple trailers dropping today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys... Well, I know we're going to talk about Beetlejuice. I don't know if you guys saw the final trailer for Alien Romulus.
No,
today.
did not see that.
Oh, no.
It's terrifying.
Is it? Yeah.
Okay.
It's intense. It's
terrifying
very intense. It looks great.
Yeah.
That movie looks great. I'm excited to see it.
Cool.
I feel like that movie's going to come out and do something. I feel like people are going to be like, "Oh, Alien is back."
I hope so. Alien deserves to be back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Never left me. Hey, there's a Hall H panel for Alien Romulus.
I want to try to go.
We got to get in.
Yeah,
there.
that would be awesome.
That's on my list. I feel like that's doable. Maybe we could probably get into that one.
Yeah, while everybody's distracted with, Deadpool and Marvel and God knows what else, we will be sneaking into the Alien panel. That's what's going to happen at Comic-Con. So yeah, I guess we should talk about that a little bit. Next week, we will be out for the third year in a row at San Diego Comic-Con. We have a very packed schedule. We're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff. There's tons of toy panels. There's going to be a lot of toy news. There's going to obviously be a lot of big movie news. So stay tuned to all of our channels, YHS, Toy Anxiety, social media at YHS Podcast, and then the YHS Patreon, Instagram as well. We're going to be having a lot of updates because I have a feeling, listen, we say this every year where we're like, COVID's over, the pandemic's over. It's been over for a while, but I feel like now with Marvel back at Hall H. Sorry, I thought someone knocked on the door. There's rumors. There's a lot. There's a lot of rumors about what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
New Avengers movies, new directors, new stars, old stars. I don't want to even get into it right now, but I just feel like it's going to be a big week. Batman's going to have a big presence there. A lot of DC stuff. All of our friends from all these toy companies, right, Jake? We got Mondo, Super 7, NECA. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too. As always, it's probably the best con we go to. I remember the first year we went. I've always been kind of intimidated by Comic-Con, but then we went and it was like, oh, this is the best.
It's awesome.
This is something you don't not go to after.
Right.
It's like Horror Nights. We have to
go.
Yeah.
Right. If you're a fan of haunted houses, you got to get over to Halloween Horror Nights. And if you are a fan of
toys and movies and famous people and all sorts of neat stuff like that.
I'm a big fan of famous people.
I'm a big fan of interacting with famous people, like in the bathroom. I didn't anticipate seeing them, so that's why.
Okay.
Sometimes you're the famous person.
Sometimes at certain conventions.
Yeah, there's places in the world, like if we go to a toy show, like in some small town,
we're famous there.
We're famous there.
Our local toy shop, also famous.
Yeah, also famous at the local.
I'm famous at my local. Hey, whenever I go to the gas station up the road, I'm famous there. They know.
Famous there.
No, me too. Yeah. They know me.
Actually, our gas station, I got to clarify something to the people at our gas station because they haven't seen Abby in a long time. Yeah. And I think they're suspicious of me. Like sometimes they're like, where's Abby been? And I'm like, she's fine. She's at home.
I take a different way to work now, so I don't pass that gas station.
I'm gonna bring her in as proof.
You need to see.
She's fine.
She's fine.
We're still together.
She's holding a sign that's like not fine.
She's like doing Morse code with her blinks.
And I'm like, look, guys, I'm famous here. All right. So yeah, Comic-Con's going to be great. Super excited to see everybody. If you're out there, if you see us walking around, say hi. We are going to be on a panel with Geek Dad Jay, Toy Tubers Unite, year number 2 over there at the library, Saturday, 2:00 Comic-Con. Be there or be square.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
So very excited. So let's, should we talk about Twisters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we get into it?
That's what we came in here for.
Absolutely.
We're at the 5-minute mark, almost 6 minutes. We could set a record by talking about the topic like right now.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Cool.
So let's set the stage a little bit, Jacob. I know you saw it yesterday. We just saw it. Jacob, you said your theater was pretty packed.
It was. Yeah. You know, it was honestly, so it was a Wednesday, Valdosta, Georgia. Not expecting to have many people in the movie theater. It was the most people I've been in a theater with since Endgame. And that sounds like an exaggeration. It's not. It was pretty packed theater, which I was so surprised by. I just, like, for a Wednesday, I couldn't believe it.
Here's the first question. Did everybody immediately recognize what's the main actress's name? Daisy Edgar Jones? Her mom? Did you recognize who that was?
I did, yeah.
I didn't. I still don't know.
The actress's name is Maura Tierney. She is the wife from Liar Liar.
Oh, that's probably why, because that's not on my
I think she's
roster.
been in some other things.
But there's a connection here because she leaves Jim Carrey for who in Liar Liar?
Yeah. Carrie Ells.
The Claw.
Oh, what's
Jonas.
What's Jonas doing here?
That's what Jim Carrey said in Liar Liar. So anyways.
And hey, that is the only connection to the original Twister you will get in this dog shit movie.
Oh, here.
Whoa. Okay, should we get it out of the way? Should we give thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle?
Yeah.
I think that's an easy rating. Abigail.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I've got, I would say, 2 fireworks going straight up for me.
All right, thumbs up. I also gave it a thumbs up. I will say this. My excitement for this movie had kind of tempered in the recent months. I obviously was excited to see it, but kind of getting the vibe that it wasn't going to have too much direct connection to the original movie. I was, as a fan of legacy sequels and loving seeing the originals come back, I was a little bit bummed about that, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself. It felt like a mid-90s disaster movie. Jacob's, for audio listeners, that's what I wrote. Jacob shaking his head. Jacob, how many thumbs up did you give it?
I'm not giving it any thumbs.
Okay, no
it
thumbs.
Doesn't deserve a thumb at all.
Okay, Jake's like, I wish they would have blown off their thumbs when those fireworks went off.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Let me give the little tail of the tape here. Lee Isaac Chung is the director. Frank Marshall, Patrick Crowley producing it. Daisy Edgar Jones, Glenn Powell, Anthony Ramos, Brandon Pereira, and more. Jacob, let's go to you first because I know we have not talked about this. We decided we're just not going to give our opinions. So this is the first time hearing it.
Yeah.
It's a safe space. Let's do it.
I don't know, man. Like I never thought the trailers looked too great. Like to me, when I was watching the trailers, I was like, you know what? Like it looks like it could go either way. It could be fun. And I thought to myself, even if the movie's not great, that's fine because there's tornadoes in it and the tornadoes will be fun and the tornadoes will be scary. And I don't even think the tornadoes were done well. I think everything about this movie is pretty bad. And when I got out of it yesterday, I was like annoyed with it. And I was like, I don't think I like that. But then like all day today, I've been getting messages from people asking me what I thought. Yeah. Because I think I am probably the biggest Twister fan that a lot of people know. I'm not saying in the world.
No.
But I think a lot of people
You're
are
famous
like,
for it.
Jake loves Twister. So I had a lot of people asking me, and the more I was asked about it and the more I thought about it, the more I think I hate this movie.
Okay. All right. So, and we're stripping away all, like, sometimes, you know, when we give our opinions on movies, listen, we're all living life. We're not, environment doesn't matter where we saw it, how we saw it. We are just basing this on the movie itself.
Yeah.
Jacob, you did not enjoy it.
No, dude. And it felt so weird because from the beginning of the film is, you know, I knew it was going to start this way. It was going to start with like an incident. You just know it is. That's how it's going to start. But the incident was so weird to me because it was like, first of all,
we're going to spoil the shit out of
We're spoiling Twisters.
Right.
Yes.
So here's your 5-second warning. Abby, give them the warning.
Yeah, here's your warning. It's going to get spoiled.
Okay. There you go.
It's about to get really windy in here.
Yeah.
First of all,
More rain.
every character in this movie, maybe other than the main girl, is so annoying to spend any kind of time with. And the people that all die in the beginning, they're so annoying. They're like, they are, as soon as they start talking, I'm like, these are people I hope I'm not spending the rest of this movie with.
I'll give you this. Definitely had like, you know, the beginning of a horror movie where you're like, oh, these three people are about to die.
Yeah,
Like a little bit of those vibes. I'll give you
dead.
that. I'll give you that.
But the thing that struck me very odd in the opening scene is that it feels like they are scared to show you the tornado. You do not. It starts off with an F5, and I know the plot is that you're not seeing it because it's in the rain, but you don't see it at all, and it's not scary. It's not. And I thought I'm sorry. I'm going to talk a lot, and I'm very sorry.
No,
you guys can interrupt me at any time.
That's why we do this.
I was like, you know, maybe that's just how they're doing the opening. Maybe they just don't want to show us the tornado at the beginning, as if people don't know what tornadoes look like or something. But they continue to treat the tornadoes like that throughout the movie. The only time you're getting like full on tornado stuff is that weird section in the middle where there's not any plot going on and they're just driving through tornadoes with country music blasting. The F5s that start and end the movie, you get no sense of scale. There are no big sweeping shots of an F5 tornado. It's always half out of frame or so close up that it's just like, well, it just looks like dirt. In the original Twister, you get so much time with that F5. You see how big it is. You see it in relation to the land and the vehicles, and you see it doing so much damage. And in this movie, you get 10 minutes of like, maybe that's an F5 tornado, like doing, what is it doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I just think the tornadoes don't look good. And that was the most shocking thing to me, because I'm like, it's 2024. The tornadoes should not look worse than they look
so
30 years ago.
I will say this, because I think as we give our opinions, I think we should all round table and react to the specific topic. I a couple times thought as well. I'll react to a couple things you just said. First of all, you are right that majority of the tornado.
I don't want to
shots,
ramble. If I start rambling, stop me.
No, ramble. First blood.
I don't want to ramble. It feels.
Why don't we round table?
It feels annoying.
No, listen. So right now, Jacob is taking himself out of himself, pretending to be a listener, listening to himself, and he's annoyed that he was.
I am.
No, listen. A lot of the shots are very tight, where you do just get like a chunk of the front of the tornado. They don't like. I will say, filmmaking criticism. They have really cool drone shots, but they didn't. Maybe they didn't take it as far as they needed to, as far as like giving the scope. I'll give you that. As far as driving trucks through tornadoes while country music's playing, I literally stood up and fist bumped at one point. There's something about Glenn Powell that I'm like, I want to be him. I want to be friends with him.
Oh,
by the way, they got a million subscribers on YouTube. That's
pretty good.
Jacob, that's even more than you.
Not by many.
Abby, go for it.
Yeah. I was going into this, and I understand where you're coming from, Jacob, kind of wanting to see like the more of the tornado. That wasn't necessarily what I wanted. Going into it, the tornadoes are kind of secondary for me to like the storm chasers themselves, and like the love story. Yeah, it is. But the original Twister had a really good love story in it, and a good breakup, and a good like love triangle with Dr. Melissa Reeves and Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton.
Was there a Melinda in there?
No, there was never a Melinda. It was always Melissa. And I feel like Bill Paxton because I'm like, is that what you think happened, Jacob? I fucking really enjoyed this movie. And when it came to the opening of it, I was, I guess, I would say I understand the feeling of like these are expendable characters as soon as you meet them, or at least when you realize that they are expendable. I was shocked by their deaths. I thought that put some like high stakes in the opening of the movie. And I also I wouldn't even say I was relieved when they were gone because I kind of liked it. Like there was a part of me that had that, like, I'd follow these people. I wasn't perturbed by them. And I really liked the protagonist. I thought she was really, magnetic, but like also played like a very intelligent character.
She reminded
had the sensitivities to nature that Bill Paxton did. And in that way, like the homage to Greenidge and to her like centering and focusing. I dug that shit. Like, to me, that's like Rey using the Force kind of stuff. Like, I got into that.
I will say, okay, I want to compliment this movie real quick. I like that it took itself seriously and like it didn't just. First of all, I think we should say this: the original Twister, guys. For a long time, I thought maybe it was just us and our friends who were really into Twister, but
no,
like
it's a whole phenomenon.
We have found out over the last couple of weeks, people really loved. Like people know about Dusty and the Suck Zone and Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt and Abby. You're sporting the shirt. We got to say
Aunt Meg's, yeah.
Got the
Powell got me the shirt.
The Aunt Meg shirt from the Twister Museum. I thought that this movie. It's really hard with sequels because you have there's this inclination to just compare it to the original, and to the first Twister is great. Bill Paxton, Philip Seymour Hoffman, these are some of the greatest actors we ever had, and those characters are like legendary. So I really kind of forced myself, like, don't go into this. I was hoping this movie didn't force me to compare it to the original, even though it has some similar beats. I thought it did. Here's what I'll say. I liked the lesson.
You're trying so hard to say something good about this movie.
No. I liked this movie because I enjoyed all the characters, but I liked the Tornado Wrangler characters, which are initially posed as kind of the villains, but then there's the switch halfway through.
It kind of switches, yeah.
You're like, oh, this crew is closer to Bill's crew than the other the guy from Hamilton, Anthony Ramos, who they're in it for the wrong reasons. That's the lesson I took away. You cannot chase tornadoes for the wrong reasons.
That's still the same.
You just can't.
It's for money is the wrong reason.
Hey,
that stays true from the original to this.
By the way, David Cornsweet, our new Superman, kind of played an asshole in this movie.
Oh, is that Superman?
Yeah. I thought he did that really
weird.
Well.
I want to disagree with you, Craig.
That's okay.
The thing that
we've gotten through disagreements before.
The thing that you're saying about a movie forcing you to compare it to the original, then don't be a sequel to Twister. Like, you can't be a sequel and then hope people don't compare you to what you're a sequel to. You're a sequel. You're going to get compared, and you deserve to get compared. You can't give a movie a pass, Well,
I'm not giving it a pass. I actually like.
I know you're saying you actually liked it. I get that.
Here's what I'll say. I liked Glenn Powell. I liked the leads a lot. I thought Glenn Powell.
I think Glenn Powell's pretty good.
Daisy Edgar Jones. What I
liked her. I think she's the best part of the movie. I thought she was great.
She reminded me, her look and her aesthetic reminded me of a combination of Laura Dern, Helen Hunt, and Laura Linney from Congo.
I get the Laura Dern thing.
You know? Sure. Mm-hmm. So I thought, and I like that the movie was filmed on film. I liked, there's something, I cried during the movie at one point.
When did you cry?
When they decided to go to that town and help the people. I was like, look at this. People helping people. This is a great thing.
I like that modern twist of coming together and like no one's really going to be versing each other.
I wanted more from the evil investor, though. Oh, that's the guy I want more of. Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to talk, man, because I just feel like I feel like I'm annoying you guys.
Why? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Why? This is a movie about tornadoes.
I hated this movie, dude.
But I want to know
every character. Yeah. It's written like garbage. The writing is so bad. The dialogue is so hard to listen to. Dude, all those other storm chasers are so obnoxious. And not like in a fun way. They're just yelling. There's no laughs in this movie. I did not laugh at one single thing. I'm not saying it's a comedy because it's not. But there's no point that I get like a feeling of awe at nature or fear of nature. It just simply felt like a fan film to me. It had fan film qualities.
Fair. I mean, those are fair criticisms.
Oh.
I would agree with you on the point that it's probably not the best written movie. There was a line that stuck out to me in the beginning where our main girl was saying, she's like, I love living in Oklahoma. And that could be shown instead of told. So I'm not going to defend the writing and be like, this was the most inventive thing. But for me, a fan of romance, a fan of the love triangle, a fan of the forces of nature mixing with the force of love, I liked the characters and I liked the stories that were being told. I loved Glenn Powell. And I really liked how I keep forgetting the main character, her name, because I just saw the movie.
Her real name's Daisy, but I can't remember it in the movie either.
Kate. Yeah. I thought Kate was strong in the way that like you were talking about like Laura Dern or like the kind of like the 90s like action heroine. And I think that she was like equal parts smarter than everybody else, smarter than the guys, and then like having them chasing after her kind of with the two guys falling for her. I thought that was like a really fun, inventive way to like,
dude, I thought at the end they were going to do a Challengers.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm a fan of all those things you just said too, Abby. I just don't think any of those things are done well in this movie. It's also go ahead. You go ahead.
No. I was going to say there's a really easy way to put Helen Hunt in this movie, and they chose not to.
I thought she was going to be the mom.
Right. And I wonder if there's a specific... Putting Helen Hunt in this movie, even like in a small cameo, would not hurt it at all.
I bet you she refused.
Yeah, you think so?
I think she probably refused because, you know, she was developing her own sequel to Twister. Right. And it was like kind of getting some legs. And it was canceled on her, and it was canceled like not long before this movie was announced. So
right.
I imagine she might have been a little annoyed or a little bitter, and she was just like, no.
Right.
Because that scene is really weird because it's even like the movie slows down and they make it feel like it's important that she's going home. Right. It's like the shots are really like, this feels like a reveal. And I was like, okay, let's see what's going to happen. And then it's just like a random fucking person.
Yeah. One thing I laughed about was when Glenn Powell showed up in the barn and they start talking. I'm like, she's known this guy for less than a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I was just going to say another issue I take with it is like when you have characters that are just like repeatedly driving their vehicles directly into the middle of a tornado,
sure,
that takes away any kind of there's not like I'm not scared of the
I get it.
Because
I get it.
It's like, oh, we can just stay in our trucks this time. You're telling me you can safely drive your truck into the middle of an F5 tornado and you're fine, then what's
you have the frame and the brace and the drills.
Yeah, if you got those drills.
Yeah, I don't know. It just
tools, you got the talent.
To me, that like takes any kind of fear, or it takes the tension out of it.
It's like having shark repellent. Yeah,
they're fine. They're driving into the tornadoes. What is this movie?
Yeah, it's really hard because I was thoroughly entertained throughout. I do agree that when she goes to her mom's house, it does slow down and it is a little bit overly dramatic. Also,
hold on. Also, they defeated a tornado by throwing sand in its eyes. That's literally the end of this movie. Let's dump sand into a tornado and we'll kill it.
They created rain.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. I don't think that the like innovations that are supposed to be made like towards tornadoes in the movie, I don't think that any of that plot line was the more interesting. And
what I do love is they still talk,
I like the characters.
They still talk about tornadoes in this movie in a way that like, no real storm chaser. Like Glenn Powell comes up, he's like, you got to remember the EF3 or the EF4. It's not the size, it's the amount of damage it does. It's like, yeah, that would be like me coming up to you guys, be like, you got to remember, guys, Ghostbusters 2 came after the second one. There was another one first. Like,
right.
Yeah, we know. Pure popcorn movies. It looks like it's going to do really well. I think one thing, the original movie, the ensemble is so good. Yeah. And even like characters with one or two lines, like just own.
They're charming. There's no charm in this movie. There's no charm in this movie.
See, I really like the. I
love the dude from Nope. I thought he was charming and funny.
Which dude?
He plays like the main cameraman for Glenn Powell, for like the
twins guy. Twins.
That's the guy from Nope.
Yeah, he's from Nope.
I hated him in this. I can if you tell me you liked Glenn Powell and Daisy, those two characters, I can see that.
Right.
Everybody else is unwatchable in this.
There's a drop off, right?
Everybody. The acting's bad. The writing's bad. Nobody's fun. They're just yelling. Like, what do you like about the twins guy? He yells the word twins. And he's just like, what does he do that's fun or funny or charming?
My favorite scene was when the parking lot scene in the motel where they're all kind of hanging out and you're starting to say, I wanted more of that. Yeah. I could have done with one less driving through a tornado scene and more just like
the character stuff.
The best two scenes in Twister, which is funny because it's a movie about tornadoes. My favorite two scenes are the opening of the movie. Where Bill gets there and and then the the Aunt May scene where they're at the dinner table and you're just like everybody's just having.
It is Meg. It's literally on my shirt.
Oh, it's Meg. It's not. Oh, Aunt May's Spider-Man.
Aunt May's Spider-Man.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Craig's like, I really like where they kill Aunt May. And
I like when the tornado.
God damn it!
When the tornado busts through Aunt May's house, it's like, yeah. Green Goblin's the chemistry in that first movie, the level. Bill Paxton, like, I do like Glenn Powell a lot. They don't believe anybody who says he's the next Tom Cruise. He's closer to Bill Paxton and Kevin Costner than he is Tom Cruise. Like, he's got that down.
Good for him.
Oh, I'm happy about it. But there is a drop off, right? Like, there's a couple. Remember when Answer the Call came out? All the fun nods.
Yeah.
There's a couple in this movie that are a little bit like, okay, Dorothy's fine because I guess you could make an argument that somehow
Dorothy survived.
I did like calling the other lasers or whatever Tin Man and
Straw Man, Scarecrow,
Tin Man, Lion. But
which callbacks are you talking about? Like that? You thought somewhere.
There's somebody says suck zone at one point.
Yeah.
And then the one where I rolled my eyes but also smiled was when she turns around in the parking lot. She goes, "I'm not back," and I was like,
"Oh, I like that.
You did
I
like
like
that?
when she said that. Yeah. I forgot about that until right now, but I like that.
I like that, and I liked her subtle wardrobe choices that were like reminiscent
From the
of
Helen Hunt
Yeah,
wardrobe.
it's like everything looked kind of like the brown outfit with the white tank top.
Yeah.
I think the outfit that she's wearing at the rodeo is maybe like an exact outfit,
Right.
From I think she's wearing basically the same thing.
Let's talk about the soundtrack, because Jacob, I have a feeling this is where we are really going to have diverging thoughts.
Here's the thing. I thought I was going to really, really hate all the country music, and I do dislike country music. The country music did not. I had an issue with the music in the movie, but not that it was country music. I had an issue with how it was used. I liked when they were using the score. I thought the score was pretty good, and there are moments where the score is playing where I was like, oh, this is feeling better. My issue with the music is they do this thing, and other movies do this too, and it might not be noticeable to everybody. Like it might, like I'm going to say this, and it might take a second watch for you. There are a lot of times where a song will kick in, and it will be very loud. And it's playing over something happening.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it will happen for like a minute. Like the song will play for a full minute. The song will fade. Mm-hmm. But then another song will kick in and do the same thing. And it's like you're watching. It was a lot while they were doing when they were all just driving through the tornadoes and the fireworks and stuff like that. It was like there's too much of it. There's like minutes of this film where you're just listening to really loud music and not really anything of substance happening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's hard. I think there is parts of this movie that feel like they're trying to do the copy paste, right? Like the Van Halen song for the first movie, and trying to evoke that feeling.
Yeah,
it's almost impossible to evoke a feeling that just originally happened naturally.
Yeah.
The first Twister is a combination of the right movie at the right time with the right actors, and it all just fucking worked, and it has gotten better over time. Mm-hmm. Listen, I will rewatch Twisters. Do I think Twisters is going to become like part of my rewatch, I think, annually?
Yeah, sorry. I just want not to interrupt, but like I feel like the distinction is that what you're saying, that organic lightning in a bottle thing that happened with the original Twister being like somehow having like really good returns as you watch it, as you get older, it's still being funny. The idea of there being like evil weathermen and all that sort of stuff is like kind of comedic and appreciated.
Yeah.
So in that way, the first movie might seem a little bit more like it's not taking itself seriously. Twisters definitely takes itself seriously, and you definitely feel that is how I felt. Like seriously in the way that it's like maybe not quite as fun. And you were mentioning, Jacob, it doesn't have anything funny happening, any laughs in it. So
but my thing, I agree with you, but I think it thinks it's funny. I think it's trying to be fun and funny, and I just think it's falling flat.
Well, part of the issue is that the Brandon Pereira character is attempting to be like a Philip Seymour Hoffman like type. Like he's kind of the wild card of the group, and he is, yeah. But I feel like he needed more. He doesn't have many. I don't know. He doesn't have much to say other than a couple one-liners, right?
And that is what makes it come off as just obnoxious and loud to me. Like Philip Seymour Hoffman, he's obnoxious in Twister as well,
right?
But he gets time. You get time to like
to understand him,
to listen to him have conversations with people, and he has a conversation with Melissa where he's actually teaching her about tornadoes,
right?
And you get more of his personality, and you get to see him be smart and funny. But this guy is just like, what do you get to see him do other than just yell random thing? You know what I mean? He doesn't have any substance to him. And I thought he was charming as a
partner. That's what I thought.
Okay. And then
cohort.
Abby, I think, is it this actor? You called him out, and I don't think I've seen him before. I guess he was maybe in Spider-Man: Homecoming, but I can't even say. I honestly cannot pronounce his name. But he was on the team And you mentioned he seemed a little like neurodivergent. You kind of
yes.
Yeah.
The dude that's like, he's like, there's a name for that. There's a name for that. There's a name for that. And then he remembers it and says,
right.
it.
Those are the kind of little things where I'm like, oh,
I like that guy.
Honestly, once you kind of get into it, you realize like, oh, any time spent with that first team kind of sucks because it's taking you away from like the first Twister.
The first team, which is like the, what's the team at, the Nerd Squad or Geek Squad. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. They're the Geek Squad. Yeah.
Like the first Twister, like if you had to spend the first 25 minutes of that movie, like riding along with Jonas and his crew, you'd be like, oh, this kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but like overall, like I said,
it's tough. Well, I mean, what we're pointing out is like any actor that's trying to fill the Philip Seymour Hoffman role. It's like, it's so hard. You almost want to be like, let's go a different direction.
And then Abby, you called out Katie O'Brien is still not the best.
Katie
actor.
O'Brien, fun to watch. That is
short hair, Mandalorian. She
big
was on,
muscle girl.
Okay. Yeah.
She was in Love Lies Bleeding.
Yep.
Not a lot for her.
Also bad. Yeah.
Not a lot of meat on the bone there.
I love. Did you see that movie?
There was not yet. I haven't seen it. I do want to. There was a scene that I thought was fun. I'm having a hard time remembering. I saw this movie yesterday, and a lot of the dialogue is just gone. It's like out of my head. I'm like,
sure.
but there was one thing that I thought was really weirdly structured. This was the one time I laughed, but it's not supposed to be funny.
Not in a good way.
Whenever they go to the town and they're helping, and Kate is like looking and they're selling their shirts, and she like kind of has an eye roll moment, and she's like, yeah, you guys are out here selling shirts, and then like immediately, as if she was listening, the girl is like, hey, you want some free food? This is free because this is why we sell our shirts. And I was just like, oh my God.
Jacob, I'm buying you a 3/4 baseball sleeve, not my first tornado shirt, and I'm gonna make you wear it.
I thought the shirts were funny.
Yeah.
Like the design on the shirts, I thought.
I thought the wardrobe was great. I really liked it.
Before we wrap up, Jacob, just in general, the plot of them like being YouTubers and live streaming.
Yeah.
Does that like, I know sometimes it's hard when it's like, oh, it's like in 10 years are we gonna be
it was tough.
I laughed though, but that's the kind of thing that can really date a movie down the road.
It can. I mean, it was fine. It was fine, except for there were a couple moments where I had trouble figuring out so they have a YouTube show and they chase tornadoes, but I was like, is the whole channel just them setting off fireworks in the tornado? It wasn't super clear. It was clear that they chased the tornadoes, but I was like, what
are they doing?
What are they doing? Like, what is the goal? Because it seems like they don't do anything. Like it was weird because they do say that he knows about tornadoes. He's a researcher or whatever, but it seemed like his YouTube channel wasn't like, oh, we find a tornado and then we give you some info or we teach you. We just drive into them.
From driving into it so people can have that first person.
Well, you said it reminded you
I liked that stuff. Yeah, the gang reminded me of Point Break, and then Glenn Powell reminded me of you a little bit. I get it. I know. And it's that alpha male thing. And I kind of understand it. It's the machismo, the like, dudes, bro.
Like, dude, they just let you get extreme.
Kind of piss. I understand, Jacob. Like, I really understand and get your side. And it reminds me of when I saw The Lost World. Is that what it's called? No, Jurassic World. When I saw Jurassic World for the first time, I had issues.
He's kind of
super similar. Yeah, I was just like, what? None of this makes sense. I'm really pissed off. So I completely get where you're coming from. But yeah, the parts with Glenn Powell being like a YouTube sensation, I liked because it reminded me of Craig in some way, like, or at least what Craig imagines when he comes out of the
that's what
car,
I think, guys.
When you get to a toy convention.
Yeah, I'm like, what's up, guys? We're out here. The chat's popping. Like, I was like, that's me.
Yes, it reminded me of you when we were in front of the firehouse for like the premiere of Frozen Empire, like the morning of, and
just being like,
and
guys,
you're just like,
I'm only here to get
just
radical.
soaking that shit.
I've never seen Glenn Powell or Daisy, whatever her last name.
Kate.
I've never I've never seen them in any other films, I don't think. I would like to. I think they're probably both good actors. I just think this movie's so poorly written and so all over the place that I don't think that their performances are bad. I just think those two people, I think they're the best part about the movie. I just don't
they
think
definitely leaned on the leads.
I just don't think they have a lot to work with. Yeah.
Hey, I'll say
that
this.
being what I came for was that to see the romantic dynamic between them, I was happy.
I miss Bill Paxton.
I do too, man.
Because I was like, man, he would have imagine like if halfway through they're like, there's somebody you got to talk to. He's like, they go to his house. Let's write a scene real quick where Bill Paxton's still alive. He's like, Jesus Christ, you're just still messing with these things. He's like, you can't stop them. Hell, we tried for years.
He would just be in it. He was trying to also get a Twister sequel to happen before he died.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I think my biggest bummer is that when I watch the original Twister, I still get a feeling of like respect and awe, and there are very scary moments in Twister. And I was hoping to get those just from the tornado scenes. And I was so shocked that the tornadoes themselves, I just thought that's the easiest thing to do. Like, there are really awful movies out there that have tornadoes in them, and you're like, oh my God, tornadoes are scary.
Tornadoes are scary.
And I just did not
I don't think you need to make
that
it
from a movie called Twisters.
It doesn't need to be on fire to be scary.
It could be because they kept trying to deconstruct it, and like their angle towards tornadoes, like in the beginning was just like curiosity, then it became like altruism and fixing and helping people, and it almost took a little bit of the magic away. I think that might be a point that could be made.
I'm still imagining Bill Paxton as her dad in these bags, like, you don't show up for 20 years and you're trying to stop a tornado. Hey, real quick, I want to say this. Todd Field in the first movie, you know that actor? He's the guy with he's got the bud, like the flat top kind of.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, he directed the movie Tar.
Oh, wow.
No, I did not.
Yeah, like he went on, like he's like a award-winning director now.
That's awesome.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Cool. I liked the when Daisy Edgar Jones is like in the beginning in New York, like not in her element, and like the very next day, it's kind of like where you're never going to get Grant out of out of Montana. Yeah, like I kind of saw that. I was like, I appreciate that.
Yeah. She's like, sorry.
She's the next day in it and involved in a relationship with two other people.
Yeah. I actually like the dandelion scene. Was it not dandelion?
Yeah, they were dandelions.
Because it did like the whole like that's when I missed Bill Paxton. Yeah. Because I was just like that. It almost felt like an homage to him. So
he does that in
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me there were some bright shining scenes that all culminated and felt like they were firing on all cylinders, being the thing that we're talking about with the dandelions and outside of the gas station, because that gave the vibes for me of the original Twister. I also really liked, if not to jump to the ending, but I really liked the finale, like with the inside of the theater, with the town kind of getting inside of there to brace themselves, and then seeing The Bride of Frankenstein as the movie, like, and then seeing the screen disappear. Like, I thought that stuff was, I was like, I'll come back and watch this for that, because I thought it was pretty beautiful.
I like the what is it, the rodeo scene or whatever, where the girl's in the hotel. She's like, there's not a real tornado, false alarm. It's like there's an F4 outside the window. Well, listen, that was fun. I think it's some good, healthy discussion. I feel good about it. Let us know after you see the movie in the chat, the comments, what you thought. I feel the reviews have been pretty good. It is crazy that this feels like it's going to make a lot of money. Like, it already made $100 million internationally. So.
Well, I think it's because, like you sort of said earlier, we've always sort of underestimated how big of a movie Twister was. The third grossing movie of the year that it came out, I think.
Right. And it did
really
on
well.
TV every day.
It did really well, and it has done nothing but gained popularity. Hey, which is why
Music Channel alive.
Which is another reason it's weird that you would make a movie called Twisters, call it a sequel, and then make it have kind of nothing to do with the original. I liken this movie, if I had to compare this to another movie sequel, I would compare it to that first Dumb and Dumber sequel that they try to pretend didn't happen for their kids. Yeah. That's what this movie is. This movie is
When Harry Met Lloyd.
Yeah. This movie is the Dumb and Dumber 2.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber of Twister sequels. Except that movie actually had connection to the movie that it was a sequel of.
Okay. Is there a third Twister movie coming and will Helen Hunt be in it?
Hopefully not.
I think because of, I think they're gonna.
I think so
this
too.
had enough of the old, in a way, like maybe that takes away from it because it's not like a scrappy underdog, which I don't know if you can call Twister because it did make so much money, a scrappy underdog, but like the team in the beginning and the cast, I feel like maybe this one felt like there was quite a bit of tweaking behind the scenes to like, like this is what's going to work. Even me mentioning that like Twister is always on the country music channel. And it's like, well, that's probably who their research told them. That's the type of music to put in.
Hey guys,
like,
country music fans.
Even though the first movie has like Van Halen and like,
which I missed that. I missed that hard rock and roll fucking force of nature shit.
I was confused with the choice to make the entire soundtrack country. It wasn't. It's like whatever. It's not like a big thing. But I was confused by it. I think this movie is going to make a ton of money because I think everybody loves Twister. And usually the worst movies end up being the biggest money makers. And then I think 100%. In a less than a year from now, there's Twisters 3 or Twisters again or some Frozen Twisters Frozen
again.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something.
Twisters in space. Yeah, I think between Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones, there's like that is an on-screen duo that people will be like, I will gladly watch them.
Yeah. Does this go like Fast and the Furious where each one gets crazier than the next
this
one?
Movie was.
That's what I'm thinking.
I bet. I've never seen a Fast and the Furious movie. I guarantee you, this is what they're like, right? This was basically a Fast and Furious.
There's an overall positive feeling of like family or like we love each other and it's good we can come past our differences.
And tornadoes are on fire.
And join together to help each other. Like,
And the threats are not real threats. And,
I see this going to like some islands in some far away places in the
Tropical
world.
Twisters.
Tropical Twisters. Give me that.
They're full of coconuts.
Yeah. That's
you
fun.
ever had a coconut come at your head at 347
Throw a shark
miles
in there.
per hour? Well, that exists.
That does
It's
exist.
called
I was like, oh, cool. I just thought of something new.
You just invented Sharknado.
Guys, I think it's mine. I just made it up just now.
So you invented Sharknado
Yeah, I
tonight.
did.
Oh, cool. They're going to be like, for the first time ever, we're able to reach the surface of Mars where a massive storm is threatening our database.
Oh, my God.
We got to
Who are we going to send? Glenn Powell?
Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen a movie called Mission to Mars, but I hate to burst your bubble. There is a scene with a tornado on Mars. And it is...
Get a damn space twister?
It is...
Hey, there's
a terrifying scene.
Hold on.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay,
is Mission to Mars the one that has dinosaurs at the end?
I don't think so, but I do think there's aliens.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Is that the one with Matt Damon? God.
No, that's
that's the only Mars movie that Matt Damon's not in.
Yeah.
Wait,
isn't he also in Interstellar? He's in Interstellar. He's in The Martian.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. There was another movie about going to Mars that came out when Mission to Mars came out. That's what used to happen. In fact, it's surprising that there wasn't another tornado movie the same year as Twister. Because you had Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Right.
Dante's Peak and Volcano.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to know which one has dinosaurs in it.
Eyes Wide Shut and the Nicole Kidman ad we saw tonight before the AMC.
I can't believe that thing's still running. I guess it's self-awareness of the fact that people
like it.
But yeah.
People like it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this movie ever again.
Okay.
I don't ever want to watch it. I don't ever want to talk about it. I want to be done.
Before we wrap up, let's quick pivot to another movie that, Jacob, I don't think this movie was on your list this year. Remember you left Beetlejuice off your most anticipated list as kind of like a show of defiance?
Was it a show of defiance or I don't know. What did I not have it on the list?
You said you were so worried about it that you didn't want it on your list.
That was before any of the trailers had come out?
Yes.
Okay.
But today, Abigail, we got the third and final trailer for Beetlejuice.
Don't say it 3 times.
You better not.
Don't play it 3 times.
This trailer dropped today. It's got a lot of stuff in it. We won't do a full breakdown, but I do want to get everybody's thoughts and opinions. Thank you for checking out the Twister review. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I had fun talking about it.
I didn't.
I think you did.
No, I get nervous.
If a movie rubs you the wrong way, that's what happens.
Can I tell a real stress real quick? I get nervous that when I talk bad about a movie that people just think I'm an asshole because I'm talking shit about a movie.
No. They think that anyway.
Because you are. I'm just kidding. No, Jacob, everyone loves you.
Yeah.
And you're a vital part of this podcast.
First of all,
your opinion.
Nobody wants to tune into a podcast where people aren't giving their real opinions.
Yeah.
But also, you are the most opinionated person I know, and I think that's a reason why I like
Is that annoying?
Man.
Is that an annoying quality to have?
No, because you don't.
Not as a podcaster, it's valuable as a podcaster. So
yeah, it's your.
I'm having a crisis on the episode right now.
I know this reminds me of Prometheus.
I'm like almost 40, and I'm realizing people might not like me.
No.
No, you're realizing that you have strong opinions.
Listen,
and that's good.
Strong opinions are good because your opinions are obviously your own. They're well educated. You specifically are never influenced by other people's opinions. And you don't do hot takes. When Jacob Walsh, I just want to say, I'm going to give him a compliment. I don't know I think he's still there.
Yeah, I'm here.
When Jacob Walsh likes something, he unapologetically likes it, loves it, is passionate about it. And that's what this is all about. And if you don't like something, you don't like something. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's going to be plenty of people out there who agree with you and go, fuck this movie. And then there's going to be people who go, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Then there's going to be other people who do hear that you didn't like it and get really mad at you for not liking it.
Yeah, and fuck that. That's called a parasocial relationship.
I just can't believe he didn't like it. I can't believe
I'm going to message him.
I better message him.
Don't message.
Fuck,
yeah.
dude, no. Also, guys, we're talking about Twisters.
This is why we do a podcast, is because we get so emotionally involved.
Should we talk about politics?
God, no. That's again why we have a podcast about movies.
All right. Jacob, Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Third
Beetlejuice.
trailer.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's one of those trailers I almost wish I didn't watch because it feels like there's a lot in there.
Yeah. The movie's only like an hour and 40 minutes long.
Right.
Yeah, it's they put a lot in that trailer.
Is that a Bee Gees song in that trailer? I thought it was a fun trailer.
I thought it was
who was
I don't know. There's a weird thing that happens. I watched the teaser and the first trailer as well today. After this one.
Yeah.
And I've seen this happen in other movies too. It's like a weird trend where when the teaser came out, it has the teaser, the one that's just like a minute long or whatever.
Yeah.
Has a very serious tone to it.
Very serious tone, yeah.
And then when the full trailer came out, I remember we had a discussion about it. We were like, oh, this just looks like they're doing every gag from the first Beetlejuice. And it's like, it looks like a whole lot of remember this. I still, enjoyed that trailer, but it looked a lot like that. And then this trailer comes out. And this trailer is like, there's still a good bit of the like, remember this scene in there, but it looks insane. There is so much happening. I have no idea. Like, I know what the general plot of this movie is, but it's like, there are so many weird, like Tim Burton-esque, like sight gags, and they're showing you a lot of like weird looking ghosts, and Beetlejuice looks like he's blown up like Willy Wonka at one point, and he's in weird costumes, and it's just like, it looks insane.
It feels like insane. Part of this. It almost feels like Back to the Future. Like, it's like, you giving me water?
It's Coke.
Nice.
It's regular Coke.
Look at me go. It feels like the plot of this. So the first movie, a lot of it is just with the Maitlands, and you're in the house and going through like their whole. This movie feels like this is an adventure through the afterlife.
Yeah, like Hogwarts, Harry Potter style. Like they're going to go and explore in a whole new world. We'll be the fish out of water.
Yeah, and there's one thing I did laugh about when they're doing the setup at the beginning with Jenna Ortega, which I didn't realize her character is going to be like. I thought she was going to also be just like goth girl, like kind of a clone of her mom, but like she actually is
She's
annoyed.
more like I hate my mom type.
Yeah.
And there's the scene.
Well, I mean that's how Lydia was.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't really close.
Yeah, it was
to her
relatable.
mother.
And then there's a scene where she's with some kid. It was just like podcast. He goes, "Your mom's Lydia Dietz? Your mom's a ghost girl? That's awesome."
Oh, she's famous.
She's a legend. Yeah.
She's a legend.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
My first instinct was not loving the plot point that Lydia is calling Beetlejuice for his help and that they're together going on a romp through the. But then it's like you think about it for 10 seconds and I'm like, yeah, but clearly Beetlejuice is gonna
Have
play a trick on her. Yeah, have some other.
Well, his ex-wife is going to be there, and Willem Dafoe's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say one thing.
Yeah,
I think this movie looks fun.
it does look fun.
All right.
And also, it looks like a Tim Burton movie.
It does. Well, it does. Like whenever they show all the ghosts, and there's the guy who's got the snake wrapped around him, and then the guy who melts, and just like it's like every second your eyes are like, whoa, what is that? What is that? And and I really like that. And another thing I said this about the last trailer is that it reminds me it just makes me think of the Kenner toy line. And that's one of the best toy lines of all time. And the scene where Beetlejuice says, "Spill your guts," and his guts come out, that's my favorite part in the trailer. It's gross. It's weird.
Abby was eating a sandwich
like
when that
toy.
happened. You look so bummed.
Yeah, I was.
Well, that just looks like a toy
for
to
the
me.
show. Yeah. It's toyetic and like the movements and stuff on screen. Like it's evocative of that stuff. It looks like a lot of fun.
It does look like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think that's what it needs to be.
They did spoil the only F-bomb, which sucks.
Yeah, we're getting one. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's still funny though. Listen, I love Michael Keaton and he's one of my favorites and he's one of our great actors. And I was so excited for his return to Batman, and it just, for a lot of different reasons, did not pan out the way we wanted it to.
He was still good as Batman.
He was still good as Batman.
But the movie surrounding was a drag.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be like, it's 2024 and we're getting a second Beetlejuice movie, a movie that like we're running out of movies that have been long. I think Gremlins might be the only one left.
Everything's getting it's like, you're right. The one other thing is I feel like I read an interview with him or an article or something where they revealed that Beetlejuice's runtime in this movie is something comparable to his runtime in the first movie, which is like he's in that movie. I think it's like the Jaws shark. You know what I mean? He's in that movie for I think like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something. It's a very short amount of time. And I thought I read that they kept this movie like that as well. If that's true, that's great because you don't want to overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, he's in every frame of this fucking trailer, so it's like, oh, they're really showing us a lot of Beetlejuice here.
Listen, the music's going to be fun. The visuals will be fun. What I like about this, and this is kind of true with a lot of legacy sequels. Twister's a little bit, but like it doesn't have to be anything other than fun and entertaining. The first Beetlejuice, again, right actor at the right time with the right director. To recapture that is basically impossible.
Yeah.
So a lot of right actors in the right role.
I'm glad
the cast ensemble is incredible.
I'm glad. I think Ghostbusters Afterlife works. The tone of Afterlife works in that universe. I don't think the tone of Afterlife would work in the Beetlejuice universe where like something overly serious.
No, it can't.
No, because the roles of the first one were ridiculous.
Right.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I just had a cat try and jump on me.
Oh.
Everything's fine. That was under
Craig's like, oh, that's a surprise. A cat?
Well,
when would that ever happen in a world?
Already.
Oh, well, if you feel it.
Can't have two. Sisters.
I agree.
We just ran out of time. We won't be able to do our Acolyte review tonight.
Oh, I would do that. I would keep going. And
Oh my
review
God.
We can talk about it.
Beetlejuice looks fun to me. I have a couple things that I'm worried about. I'm wondering how Lydia. I don't know if she's going to be able to capture Lydia. She's weird in the trailers. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's
really
hard,
seem
dude.
like the same. I know it is, and we'll
Because
see when the movie
Winona
comes out.
Ryder as Lydia Dietz is like icon. Like you don't get more iconic.
It does seem like she's playing a different character. I'm so very stuck on the Maitlands, and I know that's maybe a silly thing.
No, they'll address it somehow.
And I know they will, but I just hope it's not a dumb like. I hope it's a satisfying reason that they're not there.
Right. Mm-hmm. Hey, Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis are both alive. Maybe there's a post-credit scene.
Yeah, maybe they just moved to a nicer place.
Well,
or
according to the rules set forth in Beetlejuice 1, they have to live in that house for like 300
what
years.
What if they're
or
just small now and they live in the miniature
That's
town?
possible.
Now.
That's
Because that could be something.
Yeah, you're right.
I like when Beetlejuice is like, I got a call up there. It's so funny. Like, I don't know. All the stuff with Bob, it just looks fun.
I'm in.
I'm in on that.
I thought it was gonna. When I heard they were making another Beetlejuice for real, you know that's the kind of movie you think like, well, there's no way this is going to be good, but it looks fun. Mm-hmm. It looks fun to me. I'm into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm also into Wicked. I thought that looked like a fun trailer.
Me too.
I don't know okay, good. I'm not the only one. Yeah, I was like, this has a good feeling.
I cried during that trailer. It's the only emotion I had in the theater for Twisters was watching the Wicked trailer.
I can't wait.
I've never, as much as
I really like Wicked, and I think you would too, Craig.
I'm excited to go into it cold because I don't know. I've never explored the I sort of know some of the songs just because they play.
I mean, I love Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
I just in general, and I know it's the music and it all looks great.
The movie, the only thing about that movie is they're cutting it into 2.
Right.
So.
Because they want to make more money.
They do, but I like that it's coming out. I like that it's coming out on a holiday. That seems fun.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's November. It's my birthday week.
Yeah, I like going to the movies on Thanksgiving or Christmas. So.
Yeah.
Hey, so Beetlejuice comes out September 6th, which is 3 days after Labor Day. So the week after DragonCon.
Okay.
So that'll be a lot of fun.
Cool.
And yeah, it's been a really crazy fun year for movies. And yeah, there's just a lot going on. And I'm excited to see if NECA does some updated Beetlejuice figures for the new movie. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I like that. I like that he's wearing new outfits.
And I like.
I don't know if
where all the faces are stretching. It was cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but they're doing another dance number. There's a shot of it in there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick, I think that the dance number in the first movie is one of my favorite scenes of any movie ever. Mm-hmm. I laugh every single time, especially when they do this part. Mm-hmm. I just laugh.
To me, go ahead, Abby.
I was just going to say that the scene where the audience their face is being sucked into their phones from that has the same, you're rooting for these people that are obviously just, they're all on their phones and you're mad at them anyway. It's like kind of the same self-absorbed thing that's going on in the original when they're at the table just admiring all the fake art. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Hey, you know what I used to get mad about in the first Beetlejuice when she's going around with Otho and he's spray painting? Yeah. There's like no paint's coming out of the can a couple times.
Yeah, he's trying to, I was like, why didn't they do this twice? I'm so mad at it. Yeah, he's spraying mauve.
Yeah. What else? We covered a lot.
Yeah.
This was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
We got a fun week coming up.
Yeah, we do.
Acolyte.
Let's touch on it real quick.
We can just do we can do the thumbs up thing.
Abby, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Like that.
Okay.
One of my thumbs is shorter than the other. Now everyone knows. Yeah. I there's this one thumb that's like, I really enjoyed some of the fresh takes and like the new imagery, and I loved having a rewrite on like the, there can only be one. I don't know. There could be more, like other than just Anakin. So I thought that there were some fun innovations. I like witches. I thought that the witch stuff was mostly good. ball was dropped a little bit, like with the chanting. I didn't love that part. But there's this other thumb that's just like trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, because like there were some episodes, like the second to the most recent one, where they just rehashed everything from a different angle. That was pointless, and it felt like we were eating like really expired leftovers, and nobody wants that.
That's such a the Acolyte episode
6 months ago. So yeah, and so I'm confused by it. I kind of feel like that Prometheus feeling of like, I'm like, I think I love it. I think I might hate this. I think I might want to watch it again and force myself to like it. Like it's got a lot of stuff going on.
Jacob, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up.
I sort of feel like Abby. My there's moments where I'm like, oh, but I will say ultimately it's thumbs down. Yeah. I think overall, maybe one of the worst Star Wars shows that exists so far. But there were some good ideas in it. I thought all the fighting was really good and it looked good, and I was kind of shocked at like how great the fighting looked compared to how bad a lot of the other stuff was.
Yeah, those were the innovations in the action sequences were really good.
I thought it all. Yeah, especially the last episode, whenever Saul is fighting the Sith dude,
Smiley.
I was like, this is fucking cool, but everything around it is kind of bad. So overall, I'd say it wasn't very. Wasn't a successful test.
Yeah, I'd say thumbs in the middle, trending down. There was a couple episodes I really did enjoy. I agree, choreography across the board was pretty great. Really interesting ideas. Execution, not super great. I had some I don't want to go into super spoiler territory in case people haven't seen it, but like I just feel like
spoiled Twisters and it's been out for 10 minutes.
Well, we gotta get them clicks, dog. We gotta get them views.
Yeah, dude.
People would rather watch us review Twister.
People who have not seen it yet, but just want to spoil it.
No, I was spoiled on. Well, what did I see? I saw a picture of.
We saw Plagueis.
Plagueis.
Yeah.
Like the hour the show came out.
Right.
Was pictures
there he
of
is.
him. Yeah.
The Yoda thing pissed me off. Here's the deal, guys. It's 2024. We've had Yoda in plenty of Star Wars movies.
Yep.
He's
just put him in it.
Just put him in it.
Put the fucking guy in there.
They mention the Jedi Council every episode. You know it's coming.
Just let him be in it.
It's like that shit they did with Ahsoka, where they kept making you think Leia was going to be in it, and then they sent in C-3PO. Like, recap at this point.
Those characters exist. They
exist.
Well, Craig, that is another weird trend with legacy sequels and stuff. It's like they want to save, the people and try to make them like they think it means more if the character only shows up at the end. But it's like, look, we have like 6 other movies that Yoda's in. Why? We know what Yoda looks like. You don't need to save him.
They did it the one time with young Luke on The Mandalorian, and then I feel like there's that.
Right.
At this point, do it again.
There's not
George Lucas being like, I got to top my last thing.
There's not a character in Star Wars that could show up that is actually surprising.
Yeah.
We know
the Luke thing was, like Abby just said, the Luke thing was the big surprise. And it was also a pretty big surprise because it wasn't really hinted at that Luke might show up, you know? Yeah. So at this point, like, I don't know, dude. It feels like we're being treated like idiots, being like, "Ooh, the council, someone might be around the corner," and then just show the back of his head.
Down to us.
They'll love this if the
episodic Star Wars.
If the last thing they see is somebody they like, they'll have the impression that the show was good. So let's show Yoda at the very, very end. Get the fuck out of here. Just put Yoda in it.
All the people that were complaining that
their attention span will probably like blah, 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 and then
they did wrap up some stuff, like the whole thing of like, oh, how did what's his face know he didn't know the Sith? Like, people who want to, I think, long discussions about like breaking canon and lore are kind of boring and played out at this point. It's like, these shows are going to go on forever. At some point, they're going to step on their own toes. It's just going to happen. I just want great storytelling and great execution. Waiting every week for like little more incremental pieces of the story. The mystery, the big mystery. I thought the whole show was going to be a murder mystery. Then they revealed who did the murder, like the first episode. I was like, oh, well, that's not interesting. Also, Carrie Ann Moss, like it just didn't work for me across the board. It has nothing to do with like, I think a lot, the cast is there was some ups and downs, right? Like, but overall, like the acting just wasn't great. What's her name? The main actress, Amanda Stenberg. Like, I thought she was pretty good playing the twins.
Didn't dislike,
but also why
child.
I don't know why they had to be twins. Like, it felt like it made the story more confusing and convoluted.
Craig, they're not twins.
Right.
They're the same person. What does that mean?
Nobody knows.
I don't fucking know. I still want to know how it all. Sorry, I probably shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Just want to,
So, anyways, and then the Darth Plagueis again. It's like, can you believe it? They showed Darth Plagueis for the first time.
Darth Vegas.
Whatever his fucking name.
Darth Vegas. Isn't that where your dad lives?
Darth Vegas.
I just said Dark Vegas.
Darth Vegas.
They showed
That's
Darth
who I'm
Vegas.
going to be for Dragon Con.
But it's like, okay, but Acolyte might never continue. So what's the point? So Darth Plagueis is on a cave. No one knows why.
He's on a cave,
or in a cave.
I'm
just sneaking around.
Got to be careful in those caves, those caverns.
You do.
You have a whole council of guys.
Man, well, this is fun. I do love movies, TV, and pop culture in general.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love it. Love talking about it.
All right, so here's what's on deck coming up for YHS. Stay tuned for more. It'll be a little erratic for a week or two. We're gonna have a ton of content up on YHS and Toy Anxiety. Not sure.
Well, you
episode
should
release.
Just make sure you get it all on Spotify so that guy doesn't get annoyed.
I saw that guy.
Then I went and checked, and he's right. Craig has not uploaded the Toy Anxiety Spotify feed for a while.
Okay. Can I tell you exactly what actually happened?
Yeah.
The episode from 3 weeks ago, I uploaded it, but didn't hit the submit button. So it was still in draft mode. Mm-hmm. And then the week after that, I just didn't post it because that was the episode with all the fucked up technical difficulties. And I never wanted to think about that episode
that makes
again.
Complete sense. Yeah.
And then, so I actually did post the last two. So it's
you're welcome, guy. Now you know.
But also chill out.
He's always
not
like,
you.
I thought it was a computer generated. Like
he was like, what did he say? He was like,
do better.
Do better.
Guys.
Hey, dude,
I'm
go
trying.
listen to another show for now. Like, take some time off.
Maybe we recommend other podcasts.
Guys, I'm trying. Do you know? It's a lot of work to do this shit.
It is.
We've been doing this for 8 years. We're leaving a legacy of thousands and thousands of hours of us talking about God knows what.
Yeah, complaining.
But we'll do better.
We'll do better.
We should do
for
better.
You, dude.
Do better.
It's gonna be good. All right, Abigail. Any final thoughts?
Do whatever you want. I don't care if you do better. I appreciate everyone listening and everyone who watches and follows and is a patron and all that. We love you guys, and I'm excited to go to Comic-Con next week. There's going to be a ton of stuff that I just know is unplanned and exciting to think about. So
I'm just mad